Now, coming up at the end of the month, there's going to be some cycling in McGee's Chemist in Letterkenny. It's happening on Wednesday, the 27th of March, actually. And not at McGee's, but in McGee's. And it's called Spin for Olivia. The Olivia being Olivia Robb from Newton Cunningham, who has motor neuron disease. Her sister-in-law, Mary, actually works in McGee's in the cosmetics department. You might have heard her on the odd ad. But Olivia's condition has developed to where she now needs constant care with big changes in how she lives her daily life. The funds will go towards helping her family get adapted transport, medical equipment and accommodation in Dublin for her hospital visits there. And the idea, anyhow, is to have an exercise bike in store that staff will keep moving for the full day. There's going to be somebody on it for at all times through the day. That's the aim, anyhow, during opening hours. So there's some great hampers to be won in a raffle. If you go along and sponsor the staff for whatever amount, then you'll be entered into the raffle as well for a chance to win one of those great hampers. That's coming up on the 27th of March at McGee's Chemist in Letterkenny. Speaking of McGee's, well, Gerard McCormick is here, not in his guise as manager of McGee's, but instead in his guise as chairperson of Letterkenny Tidy Towns, because they are getting a new 3-year plan together and having an open event in the Mount Errigal Hotel on Thursday of next week. That's the 21st of March, and that would be at 7:30 in the evening. Gerard, how are you?
Hi, John. Very good, John. Thank you.
First of all, the intro there, the cycle. So, do you know what's in store? Is this all news to you?
Oh, no, I know about it all right. But the girls really organised it all. It would have been probably Claire Devine, our shop floor manager, really put her heart into that, and we wanted to do something for Mary's family, for Olivia, and everybody who's around McGee's will know Mary well. She's there a lifetime, and she's a lovely lady. And we were all just so really broken-hearted to hear the news of Olivia, and we wanted to do something sort of special and something a little bit different and a little bit personal.
Yeah.
So they come up with this idea, which we think is a great idea, and we'd love for the public to support it, and we think it's a lovely cause, and we plan to have a bit of fun that day and to make it a pleasurable event.
And will you be doing a turn on the bike?
I am told I will be doing this. Yeah,
there you are. Okay, it's not just in golf. You have to do a bit of cycling.
Have to do a bit of cycling. Yeah.
Now, Letterkenny Tidy Towns, you're having an open event, and it's for a new 3-year plan. And I suppose, like any tidy towns you have, or any successful tidy towns, and let's face it, Letterkenny has been very successful. Then you need to have a plan in place. In this case, you've brought in a bit of an expert.
We have, yeah. I think you just tried to paint a picture there that if you really want to get to the top ends of the Tidy Town competition, there is an expectation that you have a proper plan which has been thought through. So we were very lucky. We applied for funding from Donegal County Council, and they very kindly gave us full funding for it, which we're very thankful for. So we appointed Billy Flynn from Flynn Fury Consultants. He himself, he works in the environmental field as a consultant, but he also is a senior Tidy Town judge.
So no better man.
No better man. He has his finger on the pulse, and he knows what we need. But as he says, there's no point, like, Gerard, you could have a plan that I could write, and that you could tell me what you want to write. But the reality is these plans work best when you reach out to the community and the community tells you what they want, and it's what they call evidence-based plans from the ground, and that's the starting point of it. So we've been working at this for maybe a few weeks at this stage, and we have a certain amount of the bones done of it. But this is a very, very important part of the whole structure. When we were organising it, to me, the thought of running this a community event, hosting it, would scare me no end. And I said, Billy, very important that, when the people come, you'll host it, like you'll look after it. And he says, look, if you get the people there, I'll look after it then. So this is why I'd asked you, maybe could we come on, could we talk about it, and just to reach out to the public, anybody who's in Letterkenny has an interest in their environment, in Tidy Towns. We just want you to come along, and we'll just have Billy will host it, and he will facilitate the whole day, the whole evening. We think it's only going to take about an hour. It starts at 7:30. We're conscious that people have busy lives, so we're trying to get them in and out, and just to get their opinions so that we can create this plan. And from that, we then will use that to work we will use this as our signpost to work over the next 3 years.
So the aim would be to come up with a plan that's developed in association with town people, people who live and work in the town.
Yeah.
And then driven by the Tidy Towns Association.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So I mean, we're reaching out to, residents associations, just the general public, to business people, to schools, to anybody. The whole fabric of the town. It's completely open to everybody, and anybody who's an interest. And we will gather up that information and make it into something tangible that we then will follow and move our way through over the next few years.
And the awards are great, and having success in Tidy Towns is great, and it's the result of a lot of hard work. But the really great thing is that when you drive around the town, and especially during the peak tourist season in the summer months when everything is looking its best, but for that matter any time of the year, and you see a town that's generally speaking clean and very presentable, and lovely beds at the roundabouts, and the town looking its best. I mean, that's what it's all about.
It is, and that's a collaborative effect. I mean, you're just describing things that what you see with your eyes as you're driving around in the summertime. And I mean, as you're saying that, I'm thinking of all the things that have to happen to make that happen. And it's, it starts with Glenard planting at 5 o'clock in the morning when everybody's sleeping, and they're up sweeping the roads. And you have David Donnelly and his team, and those roundabouts that are in the state, the beautiful, immaculate presentation that we're so lucky to have every year.
They are great.
And we have our community employment scheme, which you'll see the men there Monday to Friday who are working through the Angrain on Theatre, and they're keeping the town tidy. And then we have Neil Blockley on the Sunday. We see his army of people. I mean, I just got a text in this morning. Neil had 55 volunteers out yesterday at 10:30 on Sunday morning.
I passed some of them. There seemed to be more than ever, and it was just great to see.
Yeah, and it's got so big now at the minute that what we're trying to do is we're trying to get volunteer drivers in that we can get. They used to be in the old days we would take them into the market square and they would fan out, but we've had so many people. What we're trying to do now is trying to get them to extremities of the town, drive out there, and then they walk back again, which gives us more of an effective sort of work program. Yeah. So that's what we're at this year. But I mean, it's really got so big that we really can't cope with anymore. We're trying to manage what we have, but I would really genuinely like to thank all those people, because it's voluntary. There's nothing for people, but just they want to give back, and you've got to be very thankful for that.
And a lot seem to be newer members of our community.
Yes,
which is brilliant.
It is. There's a lot of, and they want to help out.
Yeah, and it's great then, because it means that as you approach the town, that the approaches are all, or if you're leaving the town or coming through the town, that the environs are, generally speaking, clean and tidy, because there's, it's a bad reflection on a town when you drive through it and you notice the litter.
Yes. It's
great that it's, generally speaking, it's not there to see.
You will always find litter, in fairness.
If you look hard enough,
it's always there. And we try and spend a lot of time as well on litter awareness, because if you can stop it happening, that's even a better way of doing it. But the reality is, it's a very busy town, Letterkenny. I mean, with the amount of activity in daytime and nighttime that goes on there, and I mean, for the amount of activity that happens in Letterkenny, we have a good handle on it. It's not perfect, and it never will be. But we definitely feel we have a very good system in place. And with all those sort of stakeholders I was describing earlier, there's a lot of really good communication that happens. So that, you know, for example, we meet with the council every month, and, you know, we communicate the problems that we see, and, you know, and they're communicating with us what's happening on the ground. And, you know, so there's a lot of stuff that happens, but it's good for the town. It's a positive thing, but we can always do better, and that's just the way it is.
Well, you know, that's what this event is really about, because it's important that a plan is developed, especially when it comes to Tidy Town, and you know as much as anyone, you know what it entails to be competitive every year. So a 3-year plan is necessary, and you have a consultant on board. So what you want is input from local people, and find out, you know, what do they want.
Yeah, and it's often more. We've touched on a few things there, like, you know, litter control and flowers, and how we present the town. But in the Tidy Towns competition, it's also broader than that. There's a huge emphasis on, for example, biodiversity, and how you know, how our environment is in tune with nature. And that is a big part. I mean, we've just finished. Angus Kennedy's just given us he's looked at 3 areas. He's looked at Sentry Hill, he's looked at the Workhouse Garden, and he's looked at the Linear Park in Ballyrane. And he's given us a plan there to look at the biodiversity of that area and how we can balance it better. So, I mean, that will be going into our plan for sure. And we also have a huge amount of focus lately on sustainability, and we have a couple of new members who have come in there, Ailish Kennedy and Fiona O'Reilly, and they have worked really hard, and we've worked with change makers, and there's an awful lot of work happening there. So the interest that we're reaching out to the public is it's not just about how the environment looks, but also how the environment is, and how we react to it, and how we can improve it in the more holistic view of it. So
there's a lot of strands to this.
There's a lot of strands in it, yeah, and there's different things for different people in it. I mean, we have people in our committee who are interested in, you know, one part more than the other, and everybody has their own different interests. And I suppose, you know, myself and Brian, we're both the co-chair of the Tidy Towns, and we try and mesh all that together and make it you know, the pie whole, and you know, just round the circle basically.
But there's room for them all at the table.
Oh, without a doubt, and that's the message that I would like to take out there to invite the public to come along. It's you may have different interests, you know, the people in the room will not all have the same interest, and we welcome them all.
Okay. So come along. It's to the Mount Errigal Hotel. It's happening on Thursday week. That's Thursday the 21st. It's at 7:30, and you won't be keeping them too long, around about an hour.
Around about an hour, yeah. So it's a Thursday after St. Patrick's Day is the easy way to remember it.
Okay. Thanks, Gerard.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much.
Get with the best. Virgin Media.